All right. Look, man, we are coming up on a really, really good fight that I'm looking forward to big time. Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez to unify 3 of the belts at lightweight. This is either going to be, just another big fight for Vasyl Lomachenko, or it is going to be the snatching, not the passing, but the snatching of the torch at the lightweight classes from Lomachenko to Teofimo Lopez. I want to talk about that in this video because Teofimo Lopez says he's about to beat little T-Rex, the little Lomachenko with the short arms. I think that says something about the dude's strategy too, but we'll see. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. Man, let me tell you, there are some fights that you can make some money on in boxing, and a lot of fights that you absolutely cannot, because you know what the outcome of the fight's going to be. So, the odds aren't very good. So it's kind of like, yeah, why bother? That's at least me anyway. I don't gamble big time. I'm not a big time gambler on boxing anyway, but I do look at the odds and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's an even money fight, or that's a fight that I know is going to be, it's going to be a wash, right? And every once in a while you get surprised, but really not too often. But then there are fights that really can be upsets, where there's a high probability of an upset. That is what Teofimo Lopez versus Vasyl Lomachenko seems to be to me. That seems to be a fight that really does have a high probability of an upset. Teofimo Lopez, who is the IBF champion, when I first heard of Teofimo Lopez, it was from the father of a father of a boxer that fought in the amateurs at the same time that Teofimo Lopez was in the amateurs, same time as Devin Haney was in the amateurs, Ryan Garcia were in the amateurs, right? So his son was at all of those national tournaments, won multiple national tournaments, and so the first time that I heard about Teofimo Lopez, it was in a conversation related to, I think it might have been either Devin Haney. It must have been Devin Haney. And because I'm really, really, really big on Devin Haney, despite the fact that certain people don't think I'm high on Devin Haney. I'm very, very high on Devin Haney. And so I was talking about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, and because those videos were out at the time where they were talking about who had won the most between them in their amateur fights. So I asked a guy, I said, hey, who do you think the best fighter is between those guys? And he said, even though I mentioned both there, I mentioned Ryan Garcia and I mentioned Devin Haney, he said Teofimo Lopez is. I was like, I don't think I said anything about Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, he's like, yeah. Devin Haney's good. Ryan Garcia is really good. They're both really good. Going to be great posts. Teofimo Lopez is better. Now, I knew who Teofimo Lopez. I had heard of and I'd seen him a little bit because his dad talks a lot. He talks a lot. Not. And when I say they talk a lot, I don't mean to disrespect him by saying that they are just running their mouth saying nothing, but they are like prediction. They are prediction oriented people. They're telling you that that nobody can beat him and he's going to be at the top of the division and a world champion. And he's been saying it for a while. And hey man, he lived up to what he said. So I have no problem with people saying things and backing it up. That's what they did. But I hadn't really known that people thought that highly of him. So then I began to watch his fights, with a little more focusing on him a little bit more. And then you see that this dude has fight changing type of power, man. And at the lightweights, that's something, he's hitting people and having, their arms start twitching and stuff like that. He's very, very athletic. He's very fast. He's a technically sound fighter, right? And so if you say in the amateurs that he's as good or better than guys like Ryan Garcia and Teofimo and Devin Haney, that tells you what kind of guy that is. So you have Lomachenko, of course. No need to go into a lot of detail about. At this point in time, I'm going to say it because he's getting a little bit longer in his career. And the great Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm not big on saying he's not my number one pound for pound fighter in the world. I don't think he's the best fighter since Muhammad Ali. I don't buy into a lot of those, kind of exaggerated accolades, all that. But you look at that dude in that ring, that guy can fight. That's a great fighter. But this is why I say this is a potential for a really big upset. Teofimo Lopez talked about his little short arms and right. Yeah, he does have short arms for his height. It's kind of stumpy in that regard with but man, his punch placement is something nasty. His punch placement and his footwork is something nasty. Also, his self-confidence, his belief in himself is off the charts. Man, that dude can fight. But the reason that I'm saying that this thing very well could be one of those upsets that you're looking for, that, happen every once in a while, is because one guy is young, the other guy is old. The old guy is not necessarily he's not a power puncher. He's a guy that beats you with volume, and he is there to be hit if you can hit him. Now, every time you throw a punch at him, there's a chance that you're going to pay, but he's not somebody that is going to have he doesn't have tremendous he has very good footwork, like foot placement, angles, and all of that, but not necessarily tremendous foot speed where he can stay away from you and move and kind of do the stuff that I think that Devin Haney does very, very well. So he's going to be there for Teofimo Lopez to hit. And the question will be whether or not the tissues over his eyes can hold up to that, whether his chin can hold up to that, to Teofimo Lopez. Because Teofimo Lopez has more power, significantly more power than anybody Vasyl Lomachenko has faced, and he uses it intelligently, but also, and I think I've said this before in other videos, but I'm just going to continue to harp on it. The matchmakers at Top Rank are exceptional. And the way that I have seen them bring about young champions and you'll notice, is that they're young champions that fight for belts very rarely lose when they're fighting to win a belt. And so I have to ask myself, are they getting rid of Teofimo Lopez and throwing him with a prospect like Teofimo Lopez, who's got another 10, 12 years, 10, 12 years of fighting left in him. He has, at a world championship level, there's not a lot of guys on the scene in his weight class that, are just head and shoulders above him, if any, except for, maybe if he winds up being at 147 somewhere around like a Jaron Ennis or something like that. But, we'll see where he goes from there. But would they be willing to throw that guy away just to get Vasyl Lomachenko one more accolade, or is it time to sell on Lomachenko? And my first instinct is it's time to sell on Lomachenko because he's 32 years old. He is never really proven that he is that he is some marquee guy that's going to drive a lot of viewership, is really going to drive, a lot of revenue. There's talks about this fight with Teofimo Lopez being on pay-per-view, but it just doesn't seem, I don't think he really has any more the upside that Teofimo Lopez has. And so it really makes me wonder whether or not, if there's a close call on an in-house fight, whether Vasyl Lomachenko is going to get it. Now, I don't want to discredit Vasyl Lomachenko at all and say, I know for sure that Teofimo Lopez is going to knock him out. I very rarely do that. I am very cautious with fight predictions because I know that anything can happen. And you can have somebody twist an ankle, you can have somebody throw their back out in a fight, break a hand somewhere, but it just seems to me that, Vasyl Lomachenko he's not a power puncher. He is somebody that is there to be hit. Teofimo Lopez is somebody that without a doubt has watched Vasyl Lomachenko. He's watched Vasyl Lomachenko very, very carefully from a very young age. They knew that at a point in time that they were going to get in a ring with Vasyl Lomachenko because of where the weight classes are. Because what is Teofimo? If Teofimo Lopez is 22 and Lomachenko, I think, has been a pro at least 7 years, 6 or 7 years, right? Because he started at 25, he's 32. So say 7 years. So That's Teofimo Lopez somewhere around the age of 15. From 15 watching Vasyl Lomachenko, watching how he moves, breaking his film down, could be imitating him that whole type of thing where you see a guy up there and that's what you're going to eventually do, and you craft your skills and hone your skills knowing that. So really, for Teofimo Lopez, this could be a fight that Teofimo Lopez has been training to have for 7 years, if you get my drift. So it's a big opportunity for an upset. If I was gambling and I was like, hey man, I got a couple $100 that I want to lose, which I don't ever like to lose, I would say, hey man, I'm gonna throw this money on Teofimo Lopez, because more than likely you're gonna get some good odds on it. And all of the intangible stuff kind of points to Teofimo Lopez for me. But you let me know what you think in the comment section. It is what it is. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel on the Patreon and on the as a channel member, and also the live streams that we do. You guys are so important and appreciated. And with that, I'm out. Peace.